Welcome, Realm family, to another episode of Wrestling with the Realm podcast. I'm Brian, one half of the power and glory of wrestling podcasts, and on the other side, he is the Hercules to my Paul Roma. He's my guy, Will. Will, what are we talking about?
Guys, the day has finally, well, it has come already. John Cena has wrestled his last match for the WWE, and it is a sad, sad time to be a professional wrestling fan for the most of us. We're going to break down the whole entire card. We're going to go into extra depth on John Cena's match, if it was the right move, if Triple H should be getting booed out of his mind everywhere this man walks. We'll go into it. Brian, let's start off with our first match.
Wait, so Will, so what you're saying is that this is a sad Saturday night's main
It
event.
it was a rough weekend, man.
Okay.
For all my Packer fans out there, Micah Parsons tore his ACL.
Heard
John Cena
that.
lost his last match, and the Milwaukee Bucks lost to the worst team in the NBA by 50. It was a rough weekend, man. It was a
Oh.
tough weekend to be a professional wrestling fan, Milwaukee sports fan, dude. But yeah, I mean, Brian, our first match is our champion Cody Rhodes going up against the NXT champion Obafemi. And Brian, I love Obafemi. Watching Obafemi is always a treat. This man is huge.
Yeah.
And Cody Rhodes even had to bring out the platformed boots to stand toe to toe with Obafemi, which I thought was funny. But man, did Cody make Oba look good in this match. They only wrestled for 10 minutes, and in that time, Cody made sure to let people know that this is the future of the company. Obafemi is here to main event WrestleManias, and he looked like $1,000,000. The one highlight I want to talk about is that European uppercut on the
hmm
outside over the announce desk that busted up Cody's ear. What an
Yeah.
awesome shot that was. And I wish we got more of this match. Unfortunately, Drew McIntyre has to come out and ruin this match. I don't know. We're going to talk about another match that didn't have any interference where we got a clear winner
hmm
and how we probably enjoyed that. I wish we would have had a clear winner, even if it was Oba getting pinned. You can still make him look strong in a loss to Cody Rhodes. I don't know, Brian. What do you think? What are your thoughts on this match?
Obafemi he's awesome. I mean, we all kind of have known this. You and I do follow NXT quite a bit. Um, and Obafemi, he's been cleaning up down in NXT. Like the guy just exudes confidence and like he's supposed to be there. Like on SmackDown when he's cutting his promo with Cody, I was so impressed with him the night before.
Yeah,
Because I mean, that's a lot. You step out onto the main stage on Friday night in the ring with Cody, and he owned that moment and he felt like he was supposed to be there, and it was kind of awesome. And then you get into the match, and people get a little taste of the physical abilities that he has that for people that don't watch NXT. You know what I mean? I can only imagine for the people who don't and they really didn't have any idea. They had to be impressed. Um, Cody was great. The only thing I hated was Drew McIntyre getting involved. And now
I
don't get it twisted when I say I hate that. I hate that for the storytelling purposes. I guess we would say in kayfabe, I hate that because I'm getting sick of Drew McIntyre interrupting all of Cody all the time
I know.
because I feel like how many times are we going to blow this match off? It just seems like they're in a holding pattern until something else comes up. Um, so it bothered me in that kayfabe way where I'm like, oh, I'm getting so sick of him interrupting Cody as part of the show. I was happy to see it. I have a real weird take on this Saturday night's main event because it felt the most Saturday night's main eventy of any of them that they've done. um, which is odd because I love the retro. The more retro, the better. And they really stepped away from that in this one, except in the beginning in the pre-show, they had Jesse on there with Joe Tess um, and Big E. So I thought that that was cool that they got Jesse back on there. So that felt a little bit more right. Um, but just the way they presented the show when we started these Saturday night main events, when we started doing them again, we didn't get a lot of extra stuff. There wasn't a lot of extra fluff. There wasn't many schmazes or run-in finishes. It was usually four matches that were pretty definitive, one way or another. Um, and this one really felt more like one of those old ones from the late 80s or early 90s where there was a theme to it. It was John Cena's final match. Um, there was shenanigans that went on, like Drew McIntyre getting involved, and then we'll get into some of the other stuff later. But I wish the match would have been a little bit longer than 10 minutes, and I wish we would have had more of a finish. Um, but I think it accomplished what it needed to for sure. It put Oba
Yeah,
over and doesn't hurt Cody at all.
no, I agree. I wish Cody got a little bit more offense off. Like you said, I just wish this match was longer. I
Yeah.
think it kind of sucks that we didn't get to see like Obafemi do one of his signature like tosses on Cody, where
Yeah.
he kind of shoulder blocks him and then Cody goes spinning,
Yep.
which we saw some of that stuff. But in due time,
Yeah.
Obafemi will get plenty of screen time in the future. So we can move on to our next match, which I think we're both pretty excited to talk about
Oh
because
yeah.
we have Bailey versus Sol Ruka. I would mention that Lyra Valkyria and Zarya are there, but they didn't do a whole lot. They actually weren't a big part of this match. Brian, I remember we don't often talk about other podcasts or other
Mhm.
shows on here, but I remember watching John Cena talk with Chris Van Fleet, and he mentioned something about how Brock Lesnar is once in a generation type of athlete. I don't think it's a stretch to say Sol Ruka is the same thing. Sol Ruka is a once in a generation type of athlete, and I don't know if you can see somebody else do the things that she does in the ring. And maybe that's because I don't tune into New Japan Pro Wrestling or I don't know about some person in AEW, but Sol Ruka, some of the stuff she can do in the ring, Brian, is just unbelievable. I would want to highlight the cartwheel on the ropes into the DDT. That's one of the most creative things I've ever seen in the ring, and I don't know how she comes up with this. Like that is clearly time well spent training, thinking of all these things she can do in the ring, and the Soul Snatcher, maybe the prettiest finisher in all of professional wrestling. And this match was amazing. It was just really, although Bailey had her spots where she got her
hmm
offense off, this was really just a display of what Sol Ruka can do. Brian, what are your thoughts on this match?
Yeah, I really like this match, and this is another one where it felt very Saturday night's main eventy because you did have Zarya and Lyra Valkyria out there on the outside. They're not really doing anything, but the match was very entertaining. Um, I think I'm gonna give Bailey some kudos because she went out there and she helped Sol Ruka look good. I mean, she sold and she put Sol Ruka over. And I think that's important when we talk about the context of this show, by the way. Um, being able to do that. And Sol Ruka deserves it. And she is super athletic. Last year in Vegas, when we got to see her in that ladder match, it was awesome. It was such a great match because there were so many talented women in there. And Sol Ruka is one of those superstars who can do things, and you go, "Oh wow!" And then, like my wife always points out, I can't remember what Sol Ruka's background is. I can't remember if it's they mentioned it on the broadcast too.
Tumbling.
It was right, was it like
Tumbling
tumbling or
and gymnastics. It's a
Yeah,
combination of two. She did
right.
it in Oregon, yeah.
And I started looking into some Sol Ruca stuff, and she was talking about how like she came up with the Soul Snatcher. She was like she just looked at things that she would do in tumbling or whatever it was. She looked at things that she would do there, and she said she would just took something that is super easy
Yeah,
to do, but it looks super difficult unless you know what you're doing. Like it was really interesting to hear her explain how she came up with that, which I thought was really cool that she's taking all of these things that she can do in another application and just putting a little twist on them. And it
yeah,
seems kind of fresh. And that's what the thing is, because Tiffany Stratton can do that same kind of stuff because of her gymnastics background. And Tiffany Stratton is very good at all of that stuff. It's almost like Sol Ruca is that next version of that,
yeah.
where there's some like ingenuity that goes behind the moves that she's coming up with and incorporating gymnastics into, which is really kind of cool when I think about it because the first person that popped in my head, I was like, it's like a Tony Hawk, somebody who is innovative in a field that people already do. And then I go, oh, that's perfect because she has her skater gimmick. She wears her
Yeah.
fans, which is pretty pimp. But she's super athletic, but I think it's the inventiveness and the ingenuity that she has when putting some of
Right.
these moves together that is what really makes her look so fresh and different than what everybody else does. I thought it was a good match. I was really happy at this point in the show.
Yes, and I think that the show, I don't know, can we say it takes a slight step down with this match, Brian? It's hard to kind of judge everything.
Oh,
This is
Javon
gonna,
Evans and Slater are so freaking good. That's the
yeah,
hard
no.
part.
It- let's be honest. AJ Styles versus and Dragon Lee versus Javon Evans and Leon Slater
Hmm.
is a great match. They were given 6 minutes to go out there,
Yeah.
and it was jam packed full of action. What I hope is eventually we can run this match back. And I'm kind of dancing around the ending of this match because listen guys, I don't want to have to do this. You're talking about
Oh.
one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. And I feel like after
Hey
just
man, we keep it 100.
we
We're
do,
keeping it 100. We got to be
we
equal.
do, man.
Yeah,
It sucks
I
because
know where you're going.
Triple H is Shockmaster to me right now. But that being said, Shockmaster moment of the night is AJ Styles.
Yep.
I hate to do it. I hate to do it, but when I see a Shockmaster moment, like it's gotta, it's
I
fair.
know.
It goes to whoever. Listen, if I'm comfortable giving it to Braun Breaker for looking green, I gotta
Yeah.
be comfortable giving it to AJ Styles for falling on it.
You,
Happens.
it does, and I saw it when it happened. I was like, oh, I was trying so hard to come up with a reason how it was a fake botch and it was
I
meant to
know.
happen in the match. I was
Somebody, yeah,
struggling so
I
hard.
know.
It just turned out that Leon Slater, kudos to him for
Yes.
realizing that and being able to not miss a beat and make it look like an organic finish. So kudos in that regards. But I was trying to come up with a reason. I was like, no, it's Shockmaster moment. And then I felt bad because I was like, if AJ Styles keeps this up like 10, 11, 12 more times, he's going to start to rival Jey Uso for like greatest Shockmaster moment person. So
Oh man.
so he's got to be careful because he's like a baker's dozen behind Jey Uso, and that could happen
Yeah,
any moment with AJ
yeah.
Styles.
Luckily, AJ's only got a year or so left in the WWE because, I mean, he does have one,
Yeah.
and
And it's not
Breaker
like
has
Jey Uso
well,
stops right now. It's not,
no.
you know what I mean? Like he's still active, so there's still more that he could get, probably.
Hey,
Just
shout out
saying.
Jey Uso. I'll give credit where credit's due. I was watching Raw tonight. He had
Uh-huh.
a good match with the New Day, man. Usos versus the New Day, a story old this time, and it was good. It was a good match.
They
Go check it out if you haven't. I mean,
keep them a
but
tag team, and I think that that would be a very smart move. Let's cut our losses and do what works.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah,
Uh,
Shockmaster moment. Sorry, AJ.
yeah, sorry, AJ Styles, you are the shockmaster moment of
Yeah,
the night. But to touch on the tag division, kind of, I want to give a shout out to AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. They're doing good work, and the
yeah,
Raw tag team division is actually quite revitalized now. So, I mean, we were talking about as maybe the worst titles, but now you have three healthy tag team
yep,
divisions, including the women's tag division. So, I mean, if WWE is doing one thing right now, it's tag teams. Hopefully, we can see more Javon Evans versus Leon Slater because
yeah,
some of the stuff these guys can do in the ring is just out of this world. Dragon Lee did a Hurricane Rana, and then Styles caught Slater and then threw him into the barricade. That's just crazy.
yeah,
Crazy. And we could sit here and talk for days about how phenomenal Javon Evans is.
yeah,
That super Cody cutter he does is better than Cody's super
yeah,
Cody cutter, and it's not even close. And his frog splash is better than Montez Ford's.
yeah.
So I I don't know. Brian, do you have any other thoughts on this match?
Yeah, like this is another one, man, when I'm really going through this now, because I really wasn't, I still don't know how I feel about the John Cena thing. I'm still putting it all together so I can have my thoughts ready. I was taking notes on my phone because I had a lot to sort out. Um, but the more that we're talking this through, the more I go, I really like this match, and it felt Saturday night's main eventy again. The
There
style
you
of
go.
match, the pace that they were doing. Uh, Javon Evans and Leon Slater reminded me so much of the days of the Rockers that I loved so much. Like they were so much like Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty. Even like the way that the match started and they just jump all over Dragon Lee and AJ Styles and they just go into all of these like tag team specialist move sets and spots. And I go, that's what the Rockers used to do, you know, to get the jump on guys, and they really showcase what they can do. And then as the match went on, you could really get that feeling between Dragon Lee, Leon Slater, and uh, Javon Evans that there wasn't one upsmanship, but all three of them were like busting the like the best looking move that they could do. You know, like you could tell that there was friendly competition going on between the three of them to see who could do the nicest looking moonsault. You know what I mean? Or who's going to do the
Yeah.
best looking dive over the top rope. And you could kind of feel that, and it was really fun. And I go, being there and seeing that match in person probably would have been maybe the most fun actual match of the night because you would feel it more and be engaged. And Javon Evans, what we always say about our boy Earthquake is nobody hits the ropes like him. And it's one of those things that, oh, you say his name. And,
It's like Joe Hendry, man.
oh
You say
man, you
his name and
say
got
you bring up Quake and you start Quake
you
shaking.
just got to, man.
Woo!
Making it
The
shake.
Quake shake. Um, you know, the way that he hits the ropes, we always say that how it sets him apart. Javon Evans does like the same thing. The way he hits the ropes is so dynamic looking. There's constant like kinetic energy when he's moving. Like it's really interesting the way that he moves in the ring and the way that he hits the ropes or the way that, you know, he takes steps across the ring. It's really dynamic looking and you can't take your eyes off of him when he's in a match. It's crazy. I got nothing but love for him. He's going to be a huge star and again, I'm glad that they were able to showcase that on this show. You know, there was a lot of sportsmanship throughout these matches with Bailey and Sol Ruka, with Obafemi and Cody, and in the tag match, where it very much was that sportsmanship, John Cena-esque vibe and theme. And I thought that it's working great. Now that we're
Yeah.
talking about it, I'm enjoying it more than when I was actually watching it.
Yeah, no, isn't that funny how that
Yeah.
happened? By the way, both of these guys are 21 years old
Yeah. Yeah,
on
that's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty nuts. Brian, how much do you want to get into the Miz segment? I think it's good he made it on the show. He can somewhat be a part of John Cena's retirement tour. I think it's good that the Miz and Truth were there, even if it's just for this quick little segment. And Truth gets a tiny pop saying that the Miz was playing with Nick Aldis's balls. That was pretty funny. I think I think that's my only note on this. Joe Hendry comes out and he hits the standing ovation on the
Yep.
Miz, and it wasn't a match, but our Truth counts the three because he's hilarious, man. We love our Truth.
Yes.
We got a little bit more utilization, but that's about my only note on that. It was a nice little moment.
I have written down the gobbledygooker. Again, been watching a lot of Survivor Series, and it makes me think of the gobbledygooker spot in Survivor Series 1990. So it made me think of that where I go, listen, this is part of the show. And again, so Saturday night's main event. Like this show I could see in 1988 with just different players involved, like just the layout and the format of the show, because now we have the part of the show where everybody knows what's coming up next. We need to kind of cool everybody off from the match was before, give everybody a chance to get up, go to the bathroom. If they want to go get some more popcorn, you got to give people because you know what's coming. Just okay. So, anyways, where was I? Now I got off on a rant about Dave Meltzer. Where was I? What was I talking about?
You were talking about how Belzer, I don't
Yeah,
know.
no show.
Oh man, the rage that that man brings this
Oh
podcast
God.
time. We were
Oh,
talking,
it was about the Miz and those
yeah,
guys.
the Miz,
So,
yeah,
so seeing that segment, it made me feel like one of those older shows because it's doing exactly what you need to do. They found a way to get the Miz on the show. They found a way to get Truth on the show. And in the true fashion of what the theme of the night is, they even got Joe Hendry on there and got him a small spot. If we're talking about what the future of the industry is and where we're going, look, Joe Hendry had a very small spot on that show, and everybody was along and waving their hands. That
yeah,
ain't nothing. Okay? Yeet, it ain't nothing. So just saying that they found a way to get that on the show too. So it served its purpose. It was kind of fun. I wasn't upset by it. I was only going to be upset if at the end of the show something was going to be cut short, like with Goldberg, even though I was like, there's no way they're cutting short like they did with Goldberg. That's not happening. But I was like, if they did do that, I'd be like, okay, did we need to have the Miz spot? But
yeah.
it was fine. It was fun. It was fun. It fits the show.
All right, Brian, let's talk about it. The last time is now John Cena versus Gunther.
Oh, I've been waiting to know how you feel, Will. Because last time something happened with John Cena, your shirt came off and you were marching through the kitchen swearing.
Well, listen, that's fair game because they messed this retirement tour up. I just I don't know. I feel like I would feel better about this match if I had more time to celebrate John Cena throughout the retirement tour. I just feel like that I only had so much time to be like, that's my goat,
Hmm.
and he's doing great things. Like I didn't like him as a heel. I don't think anyone did really.
Hmm.
I just don't think the material he was given was very good. So we were kind of just waiting for The Rock once again.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's a theme over the last few years. Cody wins the belt. We're waiting for The Rock to come back. John turns heel. Well, we're waiting for The Rock to come back. And then all of a sudden, twice it's happened now that you just need to flip what you're doing. And all of a sudden, John's face again.
Hmm.
We had no story, no reason why. And I was able to enjoy some of his heel matches. Like the matches have never been bad, and this is no exception. This isn't a bad match.
No.
I know there's complaints about, well, Gunther had him in a sleeper like 20 times. Yeah, he said he was going to make him quit.
It was the
And
most interested in somebody being in a sleeper 20 times I've ever seen.
yeah, no, I was hanging on every time he was in a
Yeah.
sleep. I was like, get back up, yelling at my
Yeah.
TV. And I think I would be more content with it. I don't mind him tapping out. I know that's a lot of people's big gripe with it. Why did he tap out? It's never give up. But I get the symbolization that like he's not giving up, he's letting go. He's
Okay.
content finally letting go. That's what the smile is. He's tapping out. And
I'm so glad to hear you say that because I wasn't sure where how you were going to feel about the tapping out. I thought that was going to be a
yeah,
bone of contention with you, so that's interesting.
no, it's not. I just don't want to walk away from the end of this with such a sour taste, like feeling like I'm mourning John Cena instead of
Hmm.
being able to celebrate him at the end. And maybe part of that is the not the loss, but like after the match, like he doesn't get on the mic. He's handed the titles. I didn't like that either necessarily. Like
Hmm.
it's fine, small things to I'm griping with, but I don't know. I think that it's okay to have him win because Gunther is an established star already, but I said this to my dad. You can't have Gunther lose at Mania to Jay, lose at SummerSlam to Punk, and then lose here again. There's no way he loses three big
Right.
matches.
Yep.
That being said, you go out on your back. That is professional wrestling. And you have to be okay as a fan watching John Cena go out losing because that's what's best for the business. And you can say, well, no, it's not. Well, look at Gunther tonight. He came out on Raw and he was the most hated man. And I've seen in a very long time. A very, very long time.
I literally was I'm in the shower and I'm listening to Raw and I yell out to my wife as you can hear all the boos for Gunther, and I go, "See, this is why you do what you did, because this guy has so much heat right now. It's heat that you can't buy.
Yeah,
Like that's why you do that. That's what the business is, So it's interesting that you were thinking the same thing, that he shows up and he's just everybody hates him more than anybody right now. Well, except for Triple H, but
I know.
that's a different thing.
Yeah, I don't think it's like, oh, John Cena's never give up and then he gave up. Like, no, I get it. I get the whole like, oh, he's content just walking away and he's
Hmm.
fine with it now. I just feel like I wish there was more still because I didn't get the retirement
Yeah.
run that I wanted. Now, some people feel great about his heel work and they're happy he got the opportunity to turn heel. I'm not one of those people. And I feel like a lot of those people are the same people he tapped out.
Yeah.
Well, listen, you wouldn't feel that way if you like got more face John Cena moments. It would make so much more sense if he would have won at the Chamber, faced Gunther, beat him, and then Gunther retired him. Like that
Yeah.
would make so much more sense. So much more sense because this just felt random. Why did Gunther want to make him quit in the first place? There was no, like, I don't know. It just felt so, I don't know. I'm still clearly struggling to like really like I don't know how I feel about it. It still hasn't quite hit me yet because I'm not mad at the decision of him tapping out. I'm just mad at the whole run in and of itself. And then it ending with him tapping out, which isn't a decision that like, I don't mind it, but I'm not in love with it, obviously. I wish he would have won. And this is like when I talk about some of my favorite wrestlers, like John or Cody, or even like I love a Bianca Belair. Like I'm
Hmm.
talking more in a kayfabe sense, like me
Yeah.
watching the actual product. Like I
Yep.
wanted John to win, and him losing is fine. I understand it, but there was like 3 months we got to celebrate him. 3 months, and that's it. And he worked like what, all of 12 dates in those months, and one
Yeah.
of them was losing to Brock Lesnar, and then he had the Dominic Mysterio stuff, which is in the AJ Styles match. That's the stuff I'm gonna look back on this in the Cody match at SummerSlam
Hmm.
and be like, that I mean, you have three Dominic Mysterio dates, one Cody match, and those are the things I'm gonna remember. 4 dates out of what, the 34 he worked.
Yeah.
That's the tough. I'm like, that's the stuff that I'm struggling with because that doesn't make sense to me. So Brian, what are your thoughts on this? I've rambled enough on it.
No, no, that's super interesting what you were thinking because I really didn't know which way you were going to go. So it's super interesting what how you're kind of unpacking it. I'm not super far off from that. I always expected that John was going to lose. I
Yeah,
always knew that that was going to happen. Um, that's what you do. And somebody like John Cena, who is so old school with the way that he approaches the business, of course that's the way that he was going to go out was putting somebody over. I saw a meme. What one of them is the picture of John Cena uh, smiling during the sleeper, and then it goes into John Hamm doing his euphoric moment in that TV show. Everybody knows the meme by now. It's out. Um, but the person uh, wrote on there, when you didn't tap out to Gunther, you tapped out because you gave everything to the business. And I go, that is so accurate. And somebody in the comments to that meme said, a lot of you aren't going to realize until you're older, like just how beautiful this moment is when you look back at it. And I go, yeah, I kind of get that. The older that I get, context of things change. And seeing John Cena go out on his terms and to tap out again, he breaks the fourth wall. John Cena is like the only wrestler who's been allowed to talk to Stu the cameraman and break the fourth wall
yeah,
that way. Like he's the only person that I guess Vince gave permission to that's allowed to do that. And he does it again in the match. When he smiles, he's looking at all of us in the TVs. He's looking right at
yeah,
the camera to do that to let us know, hey, wink, nudge, nudge, this is it. It's the end. Like this is the last second. Like this is the last moment, and he taps out because it's the end of his run. There is no tomorrow for him. There is a tomorrow for Gunther. There is a tomorrow for the business. There is a Monday Night Raw, and there has to be a new babyface who's going to come around to take down the monster heel that he helped create at Saturday night's main event in his final match. And
yeah,
that's the way that you're supposed to do those things. Um, Everybody who's having a hard time digesting the part of him losing or tapping out, I would say to everybody like who's in your age group, Will, who are
yeah,
adults now, I know that's hard because he was your hero when you were a kid.
yeah,
He doesn't need to be that hero anymore when you get older because the kids today, Cody's their hero.
yeah,
He's that next guy now that when they get older and it's his last match, they're going to feel that same way. You
yeah.
know what I mean? It's a
Like,
cycle.
yeah.
And John Cena always said loyalty, will. What are they? They're loyalty,
Hustle, loyalty,
hustle,
respect.
hustle, loyalty, and respect. John Cena hustled his entire career. He showed loyalty to the WWE his whole career, and he respected the business on his way
Hmm.
out. And that is something that somebody like John Cena does. The other thing with John Cena in this final match that stood out to me is when he was a heel, which we all hated, which again, because of Dwayne, um, that heel run was so stupid that we did feel like we got robbed. And during that heel run, he kept saying, you guys don't get it. When I leave here, when I retire, I'm taking this championship with me and I'm leaving. First of all, sounds a lot like what they thought Brett was going to do pre-Montreal screw job, that he was just going to take their championship and leave because he wouldn't do the job of relinquishing the belt. So when Cena was heel and he was saying those things, this is the kind of stuff that he was talking about. A heel on their way out, they do take the ball and go home. They do say, you see this belt? It's going with me. You don't get to have it anymore. You don't deserve it, so it's going with me. So you go, well, if that's what the heel is saying, what does the baby face do? The polar opposite of that. The polar opposite is you put the other person over. Like that's
Yeah,
storytelling as old as time. And he showed us both sides of that during this retirement tour, which I know he probably really wanted to be able to play a heel for once in his career. And I think for what he was given and how he was abandoned by Dwayne and that whole story, I thought he tried his hardest during that thing to make it work. And there was even some gems in there like that, that you can really see the contrast between heel John Cena, what he would do when he leaves, and babyface John Cena, what he does when he would leave. You know what I mean? So there was a dichotomy there between the two.
yeah,
And I also go, there's a non-kayfabe reason why you do this when you're John Cena. And it again goes to John Cena, the human being, who the way that he uh the way that he works in this business is he's doing the job on the way out. The greatest of all time, the biggest name. People are paying millions of dollars to be able to get a seat for his last show. The whole show is all about him. And on his way out, what is he going to do? He's going to tap out to the person who he wants to put over to go forward with the company. That's to show everybody else, like Bailey. Again, I brought that up earlier. That's why I brought that up. Bailey
yeah,
doing the job, the Sol Ruca. That's what you do. If you want to be a leader, if you want to be a GOAT, that's how you do it. And that's John Cena. He's leading by example because he's not bigger than the business. That's just like, look, it's like Brett Favre thinking he's bigger than the Packers. He's not. You weren't bigger than the Packers. You thought you were, but nobody's bigger than the franchise. Nobody's
yeah,
bigger than that organization. John Cena knows he's just going to be a fart in the wind at some point, and his whole thing is he's not bigger than the industry, but what he can do is help make it better. And he does that by doing the job and leading by example. So we don't have circumstances where you get Bret Hart or numerous other superstars throughout the year who don't want to do the job.
yep.
If John Cena can do it on his way out on his night, then you should be able to do it too, you know? And I wanted to mention a comment. So we on our short that we had out before this video with Triple H getting booed. Um, thanks everybody, by the way, everybody who subscribed because of that short and everybody who took a look at it and had some comments for it.
Word.
That was awesome. But there was one comment that somebody left on there, and I thought it was really good. By Master of Mind 5881. He said, honestly, the whole thing felt like a ritual. It feels weird. What stands out to me is that Randy Orton was absent, like it just had to be him in Saudi Arabia doing promotion for Royal Rumble. Triple H robbed the fans of having Cena and Orton celebrate together one last time in Cena's final moment. That was deliberate. Triple H is right about one thing. This is a new era. Consider it a parallel reality where TKO is in charge, Vince is gone, The Rock is a board member, and John Cena tapped out. In previous eras, pre 2020, John Cena would never give up, but I guess in his final match, it's a stark reminder that times have changed and not for the better. And that really made me think
Yeah.
that that's an interesting thought, that it really is a
That's a great
parallel
thought.
universe. Um, because it is wild to think about that Triple H is in charge of booking, The Rock is a board member, Shawn Michaels is in charge of NXT. Like it's kind of crazy when you think about it. Um, but it also made me think that if people are upset by this, I don't think you should be upset by the tapping out or him losing the match. There's plenty for us to be mad about with Triple H. Like,
Yeah,
you robbed us of the retirement tour, like you said, Will. Like
yeah.
that's the part that makes me mad, is that like you could have had some say in that. Now, either The Rock has that much pull, which apparently he does, that we just have to listen to what he says, which is stupid. But it's like, dude, that's why you're taking heat, Triple H, is because it's not because people didn't like the end of this match. It's for exactly what you said, Will. You articulated it so well, what the feeling is. The feeling is people because this retirement tour sucked and you ended it this way. Maybe if the retirement tour would have been better and you ended it this way, people wouldn't have this reaction. But I think people are just so about the rest of the retirement that this was just like the straw that broke the camel's back, and it's really it's interesting and it made me think of okay, well, I don't know what you had on Triple H.
I I don't know. I just think like
Because I'm gonna bend your mind on something. I'm gonna go into the wrestling matrix
okay, here's what I have on Triple H. I don't think he got booed just like you said for this ending of this match. I don't even think it's the retirement tour in general. It's been a rough year, man.
hmm
It has been. And we did come from peak, like peak professional wrestling in 2023 and 2024.
Yes, yeah. It was like the purest form. It was so good.
It was
Yeah.
amazing. And I think that fans are kind of just like, that's the standard now. And it's tough to
hmm
match that all the time. And I think it's been a rough year and they've dealt with some injuries. So I'm not going to put it 100% on them. But I think fans were just upset with it. And the way they wanted to cope with it was just John winning his last match. I'm talking about those people
Yeah.
in the, and
Yeah.
when they didn't get that, they were. So that was their way they wanted to, like, hey, at least John got to leave winning his last match. And when that didn't happen, when they saw him, it was booze on booze on booze. But go into your matrix. I want to hear this.
So, did you watch the post Saturday night's main event thing
No,
on YouTube? Well,
no, I was too sad.
Paul Roma over here did,
All
and
right,
listened to that because I wanted to see what Triple H was going to say if he was going to be out there. So, okay, go with me, if you will, into the wrestling matrix where we just talked about the Montreal screw job. And we talked about how Brett didn't want to do the job on the way out. And that's not what you do. So they had to pull a screw job on him. Then what happened after that, Will? Who became the biggest heel in the history, maybe, of the entire wrestling business after that?
Vince McMahon.
Vince McMahon became Mr. McMahon. Okay? Now, because I'm old enough to remember after the Montreal screw job with Vince going on interviews, and I remember Vince saying, Brett screwed Brett. Do you remember him saying that?
I do.
And I think he said there's a time honored tradition that he didn't uphold. Brett screwed Brett. Okay. So now what was interesting last night, or not last night, on Saturday night, what was interesting is that I go, that whole thing was like the opposite of the Montreal screw job. It was like, no, you do the job, you do this whole thing. It just gave me that feel and that vibe because it was just the opposite. It was almost like they're saying, this is how you do it, not the other way. And then
Okay.
like afterwards on the Saturday night's main event post show, when Triple H gets out there and everybody's booing him, and he's like, "Oh, really? That's it?" Oh, I was expecting it to be much louder.
Yeah, that was I
And
saw
he,
that.
so now he's going to play to the crowd a little bit. And then you know what he said? He said, in the time-honored tradition, John did what was right, or something to that effect, but he definitely said the words time-honored tradition. And then I said, well, they're booing him pretty good. They hate him. If there's anybody who's a bigger heel than Gunther right now, it's Triple H because it's that weird in between segment where it's part wrestling storyline because he had to make it so John Cena tapped out for Gunther, but we also have that weird part where we go, we know he's in charge and he really did that, but we're booing him now because we're mad about what happened in the match, kayfabe style,
Yeah.
and we're mad at him for making that happen. Well, that sounds really familiar to me. That sounds like somebody else. Listen, if you want to strike while this iron is hot and you want to turn the page and you want to take us into some other era, I say we go right back to what used to work because Triple H, he could be the new Mr. McMahon. Right now is that on-screen authority character that everybody just hates, and you could get that now. Like you could so look, you bring Stephanie back out like this
Oh,
is I'm not even joking. Like he is so hated right now because he's the booker, but tell me he would not make a perfect version of that.
I mean
I,
they
I'm
already they
just
already
saying.
they already ran something pretty similar, but not like he would be way more hated now when they were the authority
Yeah.
and it was him and Stephanie and corporate Kane.
Uh-huh.
Oh, what a time to be alive. Randy Orton, Seth Rollins,
Yep.
the authority.
Except
Yeah,
he's actually the booker now.
I know. It would be so much
That's
better.
what makes it so
It
amazing.
would be so much better.
Like
Yeah. Yeah.
strike while that iron is hot right now because if you want to shake things up, because then you have a whole different overarching villain. It makes the vision a whole different thing if you did that. Like it changes the whole dynamic of stuff if maybe Triple H is the masked man with the vision. Oh wait, no, that's stupid. That's not it. But I'm just saying I know it's the wrestling matrix, but
Hey,
if you want to pull the trigger on changing something up and giving the fans an outlet for who they want to hate, I'm just saying it works
it does.
because Gunther needed extra security last night walking to his bus, and he was loving every minute of it. And Triple H sure didn't seem to mind to try to yuck it up a little bit with the fans who were booing and cursing him. Just I think that would be awesome. I think that would be really cool.
That would be awesome. I like that idea a lot.
Yeah,
That if it happens, I think we are upgraded from Otis and Tozawa of booking. We can become
don't say Dave Meltzer. We already established his record is. Oh, I can't wait
yeah,
for that Spider-Man movie to come out that Liv Morgan is in because I'm such a Liv Morgan. Oh wait, it doesn't because she's not in it because he got bad information.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's Otis and Tozawa. I think we're mm, I don't know. We're
Pretty deadly.
pretty deadly. Okay, I was gonna go with Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa,
Oh,
but pretty deadly. Pretty deadly's good.
yeah.
I was just thinking about Tonga Loa. Maybe we can throw in a clip of his 619 where he falls on the ground.
Oh,
That'd be the perfect place for it. Something to cheer the fans up.
yeah.
Yeah.
Listen,
Hey,
I am trying to give the fans hope. I think there's
I
hope
appreciate
that there
that.
could be something around the corner. Yeah.
I I think so too. Listen, I'd be lying to you guys if I didn't say I probably enjoyed this. I don't know.
Yeah, we're out of 10.
Yeah, out of 10, huh?
Yeah.
Did I like it more or did I like it less than Survivor Series?
Ooh.
I don't know. I probably liked it the exact same. 6 out of 10. Sorry, guys. I sound like a broken record.
Oh.
I don't know if I loved this show or hated it. So
Mm.
maybe we'll revisit this at some point and I can change my rating. But right now, 6 out of 10.
Ooh. I listen, I wasn't sure what I was gonna rate it before we came on here. And the more that we've talked this through, I really like this show a lot. And it was fun for me. It felt the most Saturday night's main event that any of them have. Um, with the theme, with the actual matches, they kind of stuck to the theme of the night. Uh, I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. I,
Oh,
yeah, I
all
think this
right.
was,
I
I
don't
think this
hate
was a really good show. And okay, so let me ask everybody this. Was the match, and I know some people are going to say yes, they thought it was a bad match because they don't like Gunther's style. I totally get that.
Yeah.
But can you will say that that was a bad match between Gunther and John Cena, or was it a good match? They told a hell of a story
No, they
in
did. They
that
absolutely
match.
did. I thought it was a great match. I thought it was probably in the top 10 matches of his retirement tour. I think the reason I'm so low on it is because I'm just sad. I'm sad that John Cena is gone. That's
Right.
that's why I'm so low on it. I think there's more emotional value in this show for me than it being like a bad wrestling show because
Mm.
that it was not. It was a good wrestling show.
Yeah. And I guess that's kind of where I'm at with it is that the matches I thought were really good and entertaining. The production was good. It was the first Saturday night's main event that like felt like it was special. Like it felt like a bigger deal. And I thought they were still able to storytell during the show and coming out of it, people are talking about it. I mean, we got 16,000 views on a short. Like, it is red hot that people are talking about, like the Montreal screw job. And it's a hot topic. That means they did something right because we're not saying that the matches were bad. Or,
No,
you know what I mean? It's all based off of feeling. It's all based off of I'm upset because John Cena lost and
yeah,
off. Or it's good. I didn't want John Cena to win, and I like that everybody's getting all upset about it. You know, like you have both sides of it, but nobody can say the matches actually weren't good or they weren't fun. It's all just based off of how you felt at the end, which means whatever story they just told, they're doing it right because the story made you feel that way. Now, I know sometimes we get it blurred between kayfabe and what's real, where we go, well, why did they have to book it that way? How come it couldn't have been done differently? Because they're telling a story, but because you have that meta knowledge, it makes you mad that they did it. So why did they do it that way? It must be nefarious. Triple H must be like people start reacting that way, and you go, that's when wrestling's really great, is when you can't tell what's real and what's not. We always go back to this when they were telling Cody's story and all the Cody crybabies got their way. We didn't know. Was it a work? Or did the people really speak and they changed their plan? And you go, that's when wrestling's really good, is when you can't tell, when they blur that line. And at the end of this Saturday night's main event, I feel like they did that, where people are angry. They're angry at the storyline reason why, so we boo Gunther, and we're angry that it actually happened, so we boo Triple H. They're doing something right. Now they just have to cash in on it. That's the scary part, is can they follow it up now and cash in while the iron is hot when they got some heat?
fingers crossed they can.
I
Fingers
hope so.
crossed they can. All right, guys, that's gonna wrap it up here on the Saturday night's main event, John Cena's final match edition. I think it was all right. I'm not too upset with the show. I'll tell you something I'm definitely not upset about. Guys, we have hit 100 subscribers. That is a huge win for us. Me and
Yeah, it
Brian
is.
have been circling December 25th, and that short that Brian posted really kind of pushed us over the 100 subscriber goal. We are very grateful to have every single
Yep. It
101,
was
101.
101 when I checked. 101 very smart and wise people.
Yes, we appreciate you following me and Brian along this journey. If you're here for me or Brian, or you guys love wrestling or Pokemon cards every once in a while, sometimes we'll go on random tangents about random things, or you think Brian's hilarious like me, or you love a good impression. I mean, any of those things, subscribe to Wrestling with the Realm, man. We're really doing
Yeah.
great things over here. I think wrestling's kind of slowing down here as we hit the holidays. So I know we've said it, a wheel, a retro re,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
guys, finally, there's not a pay-per-view until January 31st. So we will
Oh,
have some different content out for you guys.
yes.
It's kind of like me and Brian can finally take a deep breath consuming so much wrestling to get out to you guys. So, I
Oh,
mean,
2 weeks off too, brother.
I know we
So,
had some time to film some
yeah, we
stuff.
do.
I'm super excited about that. I know sometimes the reviews they can feel, kind of repetitive sometimes, so I'm really excited to get the wheel out and a retro rewatch because it's always fun
Yeah.
to see my reaction to some of the old school stuff. And we have a whole lot to be excited for. Brian, tell us what we have to be excited for over at the Realm Paranormal podcast.
Oh, you guys got to go over, check out the Realm Paranormal podcast. We just had another short up talking about CM Punk's ring gear at the hell was that we just had? Survivor Series. It was
Yep,
CM Punk's ring gear at War Games because it was from Halloween 3. Uh, I talked about it then. I'll say it again. Go over to the Realm Paranormal podcast. We review scary movies sometimes over there, and we reviewed Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. Good review. Um, and some big news. Will, this is news to you too. I'm going to break it here. The
oh, let's
Realm
break it.
the Realm family is expanding once more, where
Ooh,
myself, Rich, and Rob from the Realm Paranormal podcast, we're going to be doing a little movies with the Realm, where the three of us will just be doing movie reviews. So that's going to be
awesome.
a lot of fun. And here's the really, well, we're also going to change our format up a little bit over at the Realm Paranormal podcast. We're going to start doing some longer form shows and maybe do some bigger, heftier topics that we can really get into over the course of a couple of hours. So that's going to be fun. And the really fun thing is that now we got the wrestling arm, we got the paranormal arm, we got the movie realm of realm podcasts, which means we're going to start doing some crossovers.
Oh yeah.
So let's say we're going to review a wrestling movie like 1983's Body Slam. Maybe we do it on Movies with the Realm. Let's say we want to watch some of these great paranormal episodes here on YouTube with Shotzi and Scarlett. They're actually really good, everybody. If you're into the paranormal stuff, go check them out too. They go on investigations, um, and it's like watching Ghost Hunters. They do a really good job. But a lot of times they'll have wrestlers on there with them. Like there's an episode with Liv Morgan and Raquel, and I think maybe that's something that we watch that and we have somebody from the paranormal podcast come on to the wrestling podcast and we
I
mix
love it.
those two things together. Yeah.
Be
Yeah.
awesome.
So it's big doings with the Realm family. So
Yep.
click over to the Realm Paranormal podcast too. And I'm with Will. Thank you everybody who has subscribed. It means a lot to us. Me and Will like doing this because we always talk at work about wrestling and we needed to save it for a podcast.
That's right. And until next time, guys, just remember Damian Priest main evented this episode of SmackDown. Nothing scarier than that.
Oh,
Until next
Jesus.
time, guys.
Damian Priest with the stray.
See ya.
See you guys. Did you see him outside with AJ Styles?
Oh yeah, he's gonna
Dude,
retire Styles.
dude, that is some. He was like, "Hey, AJ, one more thing." Forget it. And then drove away. Like, oh man,
I
it was
hate him
so
so
funny.
much.
The way that he just did a ah, and this kept on going. That was some fun. In the words of Bruce Pritchard, Dave Meltzer. Poor
Yeah.
Damian Priest.
I don't know why. I couldn't think of anything, and then I remembered he closed this episode of SmackDown. I was like, when in doubt, Damian Priest straight out.
It's like it's like 2 episodes from now. We're gonna have to explain again, like we have like 3 times. We like Damian Priest. We're not trying to be like that. We kid because we love. Like, oh God, you could be Dave Meltzer's perm from 1988.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, is that too mean?
No, no, you can't
Yeah,
be.
it's funny.
Yeah, we got it.
You mean Mr. Levesque?
Gosh, Mr. Levesque. That
Yeah.
guy,
Hey,
he's
who would his stooges be? He'd have to
uh,
have his Pat Patterson and Gerald Briscoe. Who would they be? Well, Shawn Michaels would be one.
yeah.
Shawn would be one. Who would the other one be?
Oh my gosh, I'm dying over here.
Oh, who would it be? It
Um,
would be Shawn for sure. Oh, Road Dogg.
oh yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Those would be his student. Oh my God, I love this so much. Oh, please, if you guys are listening, do this. Oh God, I love this so much now.
yeah. I'm all about it.